Good evening, everybody. Thank y'all for coming out tonight. My name's Carll. Um, this is Mike Meadows, and it's just the two of us tonight. I thought the show started at 7:30, and I just got the memo that it starts at 7, and that 20 minutes, 30 minutes in between then. I just lost. There we go. Is usually when I make my set list, and all my jokes. So this could be a really boring show. I don't know. We're gonna see how it goes. Well, you laughed and called me lucky for having you around. And you stepped up to the bar and started swaying. And the boys all sang Ophelia as they drank another round. Oh, bye, 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 baby. The rain fell on the window as we watched the sailors dance. And you kissed my hand and said you were beside me. And I held on to the moment when I thought there was a chance. Oh, bye, 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 baby. Way out in the distance where the waters fade to blue, you used to say tomorrow was a foolish thing to do. I thought I'd seen it all before, but nothing quite like you. Oh, bye, 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 baby. I'd read to you the letters that had blown in from the west, and we'd whisper of the dreams we'd been saving. And you said you'd have it all, nothing more, nothing less. Oh, bye, 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 baby. Now there's an emptiness standing at the door, trying to take me back to the way I was before. I used to feel alone here, but it's not that way no more. Oh, bye, 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 baby. Now the drunks have turned to strangers, and the stars are out of tune, as I think about the one who might have saved me. And I know you're out there somewhere between the highway and the moon. Oh, bye, 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 baby. Oh, bye, 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 baby. Thank you very much. Let's see. What should we do, Mike? That was not an answer. Let's try this one. You look like a tragedy that just hasn't happened yet. And I've been on a losing streak, and I'm trying to forget. You act like we were meant to be, like country songs in Tennessee. Baby, I need to believe, 'cause I want you so bad. And you say that you will, but I know you won't. Yeah, I know you won't. Yeah, I know you won't. I'll be there. You got leaving in your eyes, and I don't want to see it. It'll turn your promise into lies, no matter how you try to keep it. And I'm standing at the edge of town, the bell heavy as the sun goes down. I'm so tired of going round and round. I wanna take you at your word, 'cause you say that you will, but I know you won't. Yeah, I know you won't. I know you won't. I'll be there. You feel like a memory of something that I've never known. Somebody who can take me there, somebody who can take me home. And you say that you will, but I know you won't. Yeah, I know you won't. I know you won't. I'll be there, be there, be there. Thank you. Sorry, let you behind the curtain a little bit here. Another factor that happened with my confusion about the time is I have an electric razor that sometimes goes off in my luggage when I travel, and the batteries run out, right? And that was the case today, and I thought I was back at the hotel, and I had some batteries here waiting for me, and then I just ran. I figured out this show was supposed to start a while ago, and so I came back, and then I used my cell phone to try and shave, which was not a good idea, and I realized that, but then on top of that, I was like, I'm not sure where the hair went, so I'm paranoid that I have like beard hair all over my shirt. And you're good. Anyway, how y'all doing? Thank you for being here. You all right? Like, this is not what I paid for, honey. I don't need to hear about his problems. I'd like to do a new song here. This is one I'm really enjoying playing. It's doesn't have a title yet, but I think it's probably just going to be called High. shit. Sorry. Let's see. A? No, it's. There we go. I am just the right amount of high, floating between this moment and the sky, exactly at the height that I like to fly. And I'm just the right amount of high. I've chased a feeling all these years, blocked by insecurity and fears. And oh, it feels so good for that to disappear. And I have chased a feeling all these years. Y'all help me now. And now I am just the right amount of high, floating between this moment and the sky, exactly at the height that I like to fly. And I'm just the right amount of high. Doesn't translate to guitar playing. But this is not a drug song. I know it probably feels like a drug song, but it's not. It was inspired when I was on drugs, but it's not about drugs. It's about having that feeling or losing all those feelings that keep you blocked, all that anxiety and fear and insecurity and all that shit, and just being okay in the moment, feeling free. Some people go through life with that feeling. I'm not one of those people. I've always had such troubles letting go and finding my own way into the flow. My heart will race too fast and my mind can move so slow. I've always had such troubles letting go, but now I'm just the right amount of high, floating between this moment and the sky, exactly at the height that I like to fly. And I'm just the right amount of high, still learning how to live, but not afraid I'll die. Oh, I'm just the right amount of high. All right. That's still a work in progress, but we're recording the show tonight, and my old friend Joshua Daughtery, who knows a lot about being high. I've seen people who can smoke a lot of dope, but he's in another league of his own. He's recording the show and selling them there. So if y'all want to take that home with you, along with that singular, timeless, one-of-a-kind guitar solo that I just put on that, you can just listen to it over and over. Almost landed. No, it was nowhere close. It was a different key. It was like... It's no eternal mystery, you don't need a hard-earned clue. Why some men do the damnedest when... Sorry. I apologize. I have like 6 songs that kind of go something like that, and I was singing a different one than I was... a melody. All right, you know. This is going to be a magical night, okay? We haven't done a duo show in a long time, so that has something to do with it as well. But all right, let's see. That was Highway 87, but it wasn't supposed to be Highway 87. It's no return. What's the melody? It's no eternal mystery. All right, I'll tell you what. We're gonna do something else that I think I know how to do. I played this the other night. Our friend Walt. Walt, are you and Julia here? Oh, there you are. The Winnickies have the record by far of attending the most shows of mine. This is what number is this? 182 shows. Would you say so far this is the best you've ever seen? Top 5? All right. 182 shows. For reference, my parents, who live here in Houston, 17 shows. That's all they've been to. And on Wednesday night, or Thursday night, Walt had a party. He's retiring from the Kingwood School District after a 52-year career. 44-year career. And we played he had a wonderful farewell party, and students and administrators and people from his history as a teacher and principal and administrator all came out to celebrate him, and it was really fun. I played this song for him, and it was something that before he retired he couldn't get away with, but now we can. And, the second verse, not the first one. Well, I've been everywhere, boys. I've been everywhere. I crossed that desert bed, man. I breathe that mountain air, man. Travel, I've done my share. I've been everywhere. I've been to Houston, 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 Bolivar, Kingwood. I've been everywhere. Here we go, it's for Walt. Well, I done every drug, man. I done every drug. I swept them off the rug. I chugged on every nug. Man, I've got that bug. I done every drug. I done mad all night, all two and all, sick it all, shoot it all, take it all, do it all, perk it and twist and can't walk or stand, codeine, benzodrine, shoot it up, turn green, quaalude, prelude, in the mood, get nude, everybody says I'm a stewed dude, I done every drug. All right. I saw you leaning on a memory with your back turned to the crowd in that little bar on Murphy where they play guitar too loud. And there were people drinking whiskey and there were hearts about to leave. It was cold as hell for Houston. It was almost New Year's Eve. All the way from Beaumont with a white rose in my hand. I could not wait forever, babe. I hope you'll understand. Ah, the night was feeling lucky, so I asked you to dance. And the way you looked up at me made me think I had a chance. But when I put my arms around you, I knew you weren't giving in. And I hope it will be different if I pass this way again. All the way from Beaumont with a white rose in my hand. I cannot wait forever, babe. I hope you'll understand. Well, I walked the road to get here with a guitar in a case. I'd have stopped in Pasadena if I'd have known about this place. But you looked like forever where the water meets the shore. I've been thinking about you, baby. I can't do that anymore. I saw you leaning on a memory with your back turned to the crowd in that little bar on Murphy where they play guitar too loud. And there were people drinking whiskey and there were hearts about to leave. It was cold as hell for Houston. It was almost New Year's Eve. All the way from Beaumont with a white rose in my hand. I cannot wait forever, babe. I hope you'll understand. Yeah, all the way from Beaumont with a white rose in my hand. I cannot wait forever, babe. I hope you'll understand. Thank you. All right. Let's see. I'm going to change guitars here. I've got a guitar that's very special to me. This one's very special to me. I've had it for, I bought it here in Houston 23 years ago, the day before I made my first record. But this is not the oldest guitar I have on stage. This is my first guitar. My parents, who are not here, Walt and Julia, love y'all. My parents bought me this when I was for Christmas when I was 14, and I told them that I really wanted a guitar for Christmas. I decided I wanted to be a songwriter. I want to learn how to play guitar. And so they got me this. It was very sweet and very generous of them. The only thing is, this is not a typical 6-string guitar. This is a 12-string guitar, which is not what you buy someone to start out. The 6 strings are plenty hard enough to learn, and that they just didn't know. And so you see these little extra pegs here. That's where that's where the other 6 strings would go on the original use of this guitar. And when I was 18, I went with some friends to New Orleans. And a friend of mine named Carrie Welton had a few too many drinks. And in the hotel room, he tripped and fell, and he landed on this guitar, and he broke the frame here. And I didn't use it for years. But then one day I got it rebraced and fixed up, and I turned it into a baritone, which basically just means it has really heavy gauge strings and is tuned much lower. It's tuned B to B instead of E to E. So it has a sound like that, which I think is very cool. And 8-line machine and a sailor's daughter. There's something makes them crazy growing up on the water. Playing for my supper 6 nights a week. Hurricanes, Easter, and New Year's Eve. 410 walls, now there ain't much left. Looking like a homeless cheers on meth. Homer's in the corner, breaking up a fight. Good Lord, I hope I get paid tonight. I got a gig, baby. Burnt fried chicken and a Lone Star beer. Cops and the kids drink free around here. Girl behind the bar, taking what she's giving. A line about her past and trying to make a living. A broke food table, some hard luck cues. Go tell your mama I done paid my dues. Everyone around here knows my name. 6 nights a week in the neon flame. I got a gig, baby. I got a gig. Now there's an old line tamer parked behind the bar with 100 pounds of weed in a stolen car. Oil patch boys, girls who went to college. Rules you don't break and laws that ain't acknowledged. A barefoot shrimper with a pistol up his sleeve. Some will go to heaven and some won't ever leave. Pills in a tip jar, blood on the strings. Oh Lord, I never thought I'd see these things. I got a gig, baby. I got a gig. 8-line machine and a sailor's daughter. There's something makes them crazy growing up on the water. Playing for my supper 6 nights a week. Hurricanes, Easter, and New Year's Eve. I got a gig, baby. I got a gig. I got a gig, baby. Oh, I got a gig. It's really fun for me to get to. When I was given this, I could have never imagined that I would actually have a gig, let alone have had about 4,000 of them to this point in my life. And so I love having this instrument. Not only do I think it sounds really cool, but to have that connection to that first dream and then the first tool that I had was given to try and realize it. It's very special to me. So that was a song about playing just down the road, a piece down in Bolivar on the in Crystal Beach on the Bolivar Peninsula, which was I played venues that were. If you think of where we are right now, and then you imagine the opposite of that in every possible way, in terms of style and class and attention span and number of people and desire to hear my music and cover charge and the number of slot machines in the room and pretty much every possible way. That would be the bars that I played in starting out, and that's what that song was about. I used to get to play all these joints, and it was a good education for me. But people were generally there to either drink or watch the baseball game or the fishing tournament on the TV right above my head. It was always confusing. Like people would just start applauding in the middle of my song, and I was just cheering, getting really excited about stuff. And chances are that I took the wrong turn every time I had a turn to take. And I guess I broke my own heart every chance I had a heart to break. And it seems I spent my whole life wishing on that same unlucky star. But as I watch you cross the ballroom, well, I wonder just what my chances are. Well, I know you've looked around and you've seen what you needed to see. And at night, when you're dreaming, you're probably not dreaming about me. Oh, it's safe to say I've stumbled, but I've managed to make it through this far. And as I take one step and then another, well, I wonder what my chances are. Oh, I have watched the world go by hand in hand and wondered why I'm still so alone. Could I lay down my foolish pride and maybe finally find my heart a home? The band has started playing a simple song I used to know. As I take your hand and walk you out and dance into the rhythm way down low. Every heart has got a story. Mine just has a few more scars. But they could heal if you would hold me and tell me just what my chances are. Oh, if you would only hold me and tell me just what my chances are. Thank you, everybody. Well, as long as I got this out, I'll do one more song on it. This is one that was inspired by it was begun by, on a tour many years ago. I used to play. I had the good fortune to get to play with two Australian musicians, friends of mine named Kim Warner and Carol Young, and they had a band called the Green Cards in the early aughts, and they played here with me many times and all over the country. And I was living out in Bolivar at the time, and I got my second out-of-state tour. I toured in Texas. I played a lot of shows in Texas, usually in the same city night after night, so it wasn't touring. But I booked a proper tour, like a 3-week tour where we were going to go from Texas to Arkansas and to Tennessee and the Carolinas and a couple other spots in between. And at the time, my vehicle was a 1984 Cadillac Fleetwood that I had purchased from a lovely lady in Galveston, and it was garage kept. It had like 20,000 miles on it, and it was this beautiful classic car with an electric trunk and white wall tires, and it was really awesome. And like once a week, gangsters would stop me on the street and ask if they could buy my car, and it was really nice. But it was not a great touring vehicle. It used a lot of gas, and so I decided to buy myself. I was starting to get to the point where I could do tours, and I thought I need a vehicle that supports that, and also wasn't making much money. So I thought if I could live in that vehicle, that would be a bonus. It would be a double win. And so I went to a used car dealer in Crystal Beach, which, if there's anybody here, it looks like most of y'all are maybe on your last car, but if there's anybody for their first car, come on. I'm blinded by the white up here. It's like. I'm sorry. I'm getting there. No, if anybody's looking for their first car or thinking about buying a car, don't do it from a used car dealer in a beach town. That's not where the good cars go. But I didn't know that at the time. I was 24 years old, and I found this 1985 Chevy conversion van. It was maroon with gold trim, and inside it had a wet bar, and a CB radio, and an 8-track player. And I thought, and a card table, and it was amazing. And it only cost $6,000. And I only had about $1,000, but I took out a loan because that made sense, to buy a used conversion van from a Crystal Beach car dealer to take on the road for thousands of miles. This all in my mind was going to work out great. And so I got this vehicle, and I drove to Austin. I picked up Kim and Carol, and then our first show was in Little Rock. And we drove to Little Rock, and it cost $280 in gas. And this is in 2003. And that seemed excessive to me. I'd made that drive many times, and it had never been anything close to that. But I thought, well, it's a conversion van. It's the price you pay to have a vehicle this cool, right? And we did the show, and it went great. And we drove the next day to Nashville, and it cost another couple $100. And we stayed at a hotel. And the next morning, we walked outside, and there were fire trucks everywhere in the parking lot. And it was because there was a hole in my gas tank of my car, and we had flooded the parking lot with gasoline. And that's why it had cost so much, because it was spilling out as fast as we had pumped it in. But anyway, that was just the beginning. And so we had to miss a show, but that was fine. And then we went to we had AAA come out and we fixed it, and we got a new gas tank. And then we went to another show somewhere in Tennessee, and broke down, and we called AAA again, and they came out and fixed it. And then we just kept going, and the shows were going great. The ones that we made were going great, but we were missing one here and there, and the van just kind I could tell certain things weren't right, but I just didn't want to acknowledge it. You know how sometimes you're in a relationship and you know it's not going to work out, but you can't just tell yourself that, and you keep thinking it's going to be okay. Well, that was how it was with this van. And I remember we were in North Carolina, and we were supposed to stay at a place called the Lookout Lodge, and it was called the Lookout Lodge because it was the top of this very steep hill. So I started driving the van up it, and I got to a certain point, and then I started going backward. It just stopped and then started rolling backwards. And we got to the bottom, and I thought, well, let's try again. And so we just need more momentum. And so we got a running start and really built up some speed, and then we hit it, and we got a little bit further, and then we just stopped and rolled all the way back down the hill. So we parked the car and the van, and then we walked up and stayed at the lodge, and stuff like that just kept happening and kept happening. And then, at a certain point, AAA revoked my membership. They really did. I didn't know that was possible, but I called them like 12 times in 2 weeks, and they were just like, have your money back. We don't want you as a customer. And then the last night of our tour, we played somewhere in South Carolina, and we were going to drive after the show from South Carolina to Austin to Texas to try and catch a Casey Chambers show. That was the following night, and that was our plan. And we played the gig, and we were driving back in I'm sorry, one important note. Before we left, I had such a good time, and the tour had gone so well that I bonused my two band members, Kim and Carol. I gave them an extra $100 apiece. And then after the show, we were driving, and the van broke down. And we had to get towed to a town called Gaffney, South Carolina, which is known for their peaches. And we stayed, in fact, at a hotel. We got dropped off at a hotel called the Peach Pit, and had a mechanical bull in the lobby of the Peach Pit in Gaffney, South Carolina. And we got one hotel room for the three of us. And it took 5 days to turn out. My transmission had crapped out, and so we had to get a new transmission. So 2 days later, I had to ask for that $100 back from each of them, and they and all the tour profits went into getting a new transmission for this beautiful van that I had. And we finally got it fixed, and about 5 days after we were supposed to get home, we headed out, and things were going really good until we got to a town called Pearl, Mississippi. And it was like 3 a.m, and Bob Dylan's song, I Stayed in Mississippi Way Too Long, was on the radio. And I remember thinking, what a great song. And I looked in my rearview mirror, and there was fire coming out of the back of my van, and the converter, catalytic converter, had caught on fire. And so we pulled over, and everybody jumped out of the van and into a ditch, and we got towed again. And as soon as we got to the hotel, Kim and Carol got out the Yellow Pages and found a Greyhound bus and quit the band, and we went back to Austin. And I forgot why I started telling the story. Anyway, sorry. There's a lyric in the song about that I started writing at the Peach Pit in Gaffney, South Carolina. It goes, beans and biscuits in my cupboard, listen to Ray Wiley Hubbard. Which really has nothing to do with the car story at all, but sorry. Okay, we're almost done. And it's... The riff store cowboys, 5-and-dime junkies, red dirt plowboys, asphalt monkeys, holy rollers, signal callers, truck stop angels, backstreet brawlers, bands and groupies, guitar slingers, hallelujah gospel singers, freight train mamas, pistol shooters. My first girlfriend works at Hooters, beans and biscuits in my cupboard, listen to Ray Wiley Hubbard. We all going down the road tonight. Drunken angels, black top racers, holy rollers, whiskey chasers, Lone Star drinkers, midnight ramblers, dirt road divas, highway gamblers, moonshine mamas, panty droppers, Dalai Lamas, oh preachers, pool hall hustlers, tantric teachers, teenage cuties, politicking, Hare Krishna, feed me chicken. We all going down the road tonight. Blue jean babies, all heartbreakers, had a party with some Quakers, hard-worn highways, country singers, radios full of old right-wingers, session players, duct tape dealers, outlaw country hubcap stealers. Ain't no money in my wallet, broke again is what they call it. My grandmama's name was Spiller, Michael Jackson, Pete at the Thriller. We all going down the road tonight. The jukebox gypsies, Mustang Sallies, don't go walking down dark alleys, needle pushers, horn rim glasses, rhinestone jumpsuit, backstage passes, blue plate specials, blue and platters, Japanese is all that matters, broken arrows, Gulf Coast kickers, who's your daddy, bumper stickers. I think everything gonna be alright here at the Mucky Duck on a Saturday night, and we all going down the road tonight. How about a hand for Mike Meadows over here on the percussion? His drums are in the shop, so he's made do the best he could. But, somebody left this from whoever played last night, and then he brought some stuff from home. He's got a broom. What are those?
It's like kind of like pistachios.
Like pistachios, of course. As you do, yeah. Got a can of Old Milwaukee. Some weird sex spatula. I don't know what that is. Some Topo Chico bottle caps. Yeah, a spoon. Not two to play music with, just a spoon. All my tame and all my wild, all my man and all my child, all my faults and all my scars, all my sometimes lucky stars, all my joys and my regrets, all my old Guy Clark cassettes, Yeah, I knew the night we met you'd get it all. All my lows and all my highs, all my truth and all my lies, all my rights and all my wrongs, all my from now on love songs, all my future, all my roots, all my worn out cowboy boots that I kick off in the hall. You get it all. And I'd rather drive you crazy being more than you can stand, but then to let you try to love half a man. And all my cards are on the table, and darling, it's your call, but I'm all in, so lose or win, you get it all. All my will be, all my was, all my cloud of Texas dust, all my humble, all my bragging, all my on and off the wagon, all my be your place to hide, all my always on your side, all my catch you when you fall, you get it all. And I'd rather drive you crazy being more than you can stand, but then to let you try to love half a man. And all my cards are on the table, and darling, it's your call, but I'm all in, so lose or win, you get it all. All my blessing, all my curse, all my better, all my worst, from the chapel to the hearse, you get it all. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll do a fairly new one here. This is one I wrote with a fellow named Driver Williams, who's turned into one of my favorite people to work with. This is called In Alcohol's Defense. He says, I'm sorry, baby. Last night was just the whiskey talking. You know how when I get to drinking, I could sometimes lose my head. And she puts down her coffee and smiles to keep from crying. Picks up an empty bottle, holds it out and says, in alcohol's defense, it's not the one that did the hurting. It just opened up the curtain to show what you really feel. You just needed 90 proof to throw out of your 2 cents. That's how I see it. In alcohol's defense. So you see, I don't believe you when you say you didn't mean it. 'Cause last night you were certain, and you told me to my face. And now you stumble in here with alibis and bad excuses, blaming booze for what the truth is, and trying to plead a losing case. So in alcohol's defense, It's not the one that did the hurting. You just opened up the curtain to show what you really think. Those words don't come from nowhere. You had to feel that way to get there. And damn you, it just ain't fair when you blame it on a drink. Yeah, you just needed 90 proof to throw out of your 2 cents. That's how I see it. And alcohol's defense. That's how it is. And alcohol's defense. Thank you. A little Christmas music. It is June. There is a chill in the air. Oh, it's no joke. I grew up here, but I haven't lived here in a few years, and I came back and I thought it's not so bad. It's okay. I can take it, and I don't know that I can. It's bad. It's tough. All right, I'll do a Christmas song here. This will be an honor. This is the last time I'm playing Houston until Christmas. We haven't announced this yet, but we're going to do a couple shows in December that are Christmas shows with actual Christmas songs. But I think it's going to be called Hey Carll's Grateful for Christmas Tour, and inspired by this song here. And this is really, it's just a story about my family and about growing up. I grew up just north of town here, but a lot of my family was from Waco, and so we would alternate Christmases in between Waco and here, and a big family and lots of relatives that would come out and like dozens, and then every year it got a little smaller, and it just made me think about the different roles we play at different times of life, and keeping on traditions and who does that and who doesn't. So this is called Grateful for Christmas. Well, we'd all head to Waco for the birth of our Lord, my folks and my brother and an 82 Ford. We pull in the driveway filled up with cars, old aunts and old uncles. Lord, I see stars. Then we'd run to the kitchen, you know, kids and their games, play fetch with old Buster, call each other names. And Betty'd be singing while supper was cooking. We'd unwrap the gifts when no one was looking. Let's all gather round. Grandpa say the blessing. Aunt Jane, she fell asleep. Mary Kay, she burned the dressing. But we got all of our friends and family here, and I'm grateful for Christmas this year. This year we're in Houston. Let's all get together. Man, I almost saw snow. Can you believe this weather? Who's gonna be here? Uncle Frank can't make it, and since Pawpaw died, I don't know if Nana can take it. But there's presents, a sweater, and the pie don't taste right, and Dad and the TV are starting to fight. I wish I had a drink, or maybe a dozen. Lord, what I'd give for one good-looking cousin. So let's all gather round. Dad, you say the blessing. Aunt Jane, she fell asleep, and Mary Kay, she burned the dressing. But we got all of our friends and family here, and I'm grateful for Christmas this year. Hey, Mom, how you doing? Yeah, I miss him too. Nah, the Christmas lights don't make your hair look blue. The cousins ain't coming. John's overseas, and my wife had somewhere she needed to be. But the ladies from the church said they might stop by, and I brought you this picture. Oh, Mama, don't cry. Let's play cards and talk on the past. I know, Mom, it goes by too fast. Let's all gather round. I guess I'll say the blessing. Aunt Jane, she fell asleep. Mary Kay forgot the dressing. But we got all of our friends and family here, and I'm grateful for Christmas this year. Yeah, I'm grateful for Christmas this year. Thank you, everybody. And for those of y'all wondering, in that song, I killed my father off. He's alive. He's fine. It's just dramatic effect. That's all. There had to be an arc. I talked to him today. He's great. Don't worry. It's a little bit of a sore point in our family because that's the only song that I have. I have like 100 songs. And it's the only one where I ever mention my father. And I kill him. I make him an asshole and I kill him off. And he's neither of those things. He's very sweet and very much alive. Although he's drinking more lately. Today I hung out with my brother, and my parents are up in Michigan right now, and my brother sent my dad some whiskey for Father's Day. My father was not a drinker when he was young. He didn't have his first beer till he was 22, but in his older years, he's starting to drink a bit more. And now this may have put it over the top, this gift of whiskey, because my cousin, who is his niece, called us the other day and said, "Your drunk dad just spent an hour talking to me, and said that he called me aunt, and I'm his niece, not his aunt, or something to that effect." And so, anyway, I'm having fun watching my dad start to cut loose in his older years. And, but anyway, he's doing fine. Thank you for your concern. Let's see. I used to tell it all to you, but now I don't want to say nada. Nobody wants to hear the truth. Yeah, they only want to hear you say what you oughta. Did you have a cigarette? You know I quit a long time ago. Maybe it was 98, and maybe I will never know. Oh, no, nobody wants to hear the truth. They only want to see a show, and maybe you should stop asking about things you don't want to know. You used to call me bad boy. We used to run all over town. You used to call me James Dean, but now all you want to know is when you're going to get straight. All you want to know is where the hell is the car. All you want to know is why you home so late. And who'd you leave at the bar? Oh, no, nobody wants to hear the truth. They only want to see a show, and maybe you should stop asking about things you don't want to know. Where do the lies begin? I don't know, but I remember when I used to look you in the eye, but these days I don't even try. said I used to tell it all to you, but now I don't want to say nada. Nobody wants to hear the truth. Yeah, they only want to hear you say what you oughta. Did you have a cigarette? You know I quit a long time ago. Maybe it was last night, and maybe I will never know. No, nobody wants to hear the truth. They only want to see a show. And maybe you should stop asking. Maybe you should stop asking. Maybe you should stop asking about things you don't want to know. Hey, if you're nobody's business or your front page news, a folk, rock, country, or Delta blues, tell your truth however you choose, and do it all for the sake of the song. Yeah, hitchhiking, bus riding, rental cars, living rooms, coffee houses, rundown bars. 10,000 people alone under the stars. It's all for the sake of the song. And there's a man who wrote your cheating heart. Now he's lying through his tooth, and he plays it on a stolen harp that's soaked in 100 proof. And there's one who might be happy, but for the writer's curse, and she lost the crowd's attention by the 42nd verse. Then it's a traveling salesman and a girl next door, from that empty room to the third encore. Less is less until more is more, and it's all for the sake of the song. And there's a young man on the Mucky. Yeah, he's the son of some well-known, and his father bought the tour bus so he could strike out on his own. And there's the brooding contradiction. Yeah, he's holding Van Gogh's ear, and he's taped it to his guitar in the hope someone will hear. And it's black berets and nudie suits, the next big thing, or getting back to your roots. High tops, flannels, or duct tape boots, and it's all for the sake of the song. And there's the mystic, there's the legend, yeah, there's the best that's ever been. And there's the voice of a generation who won't pass this way again. And there's record deals and train seals and puppets on a string. And we're all just trying to figure out what makes the caged bird sing. It's a lights, camera, on with the show. Lifetime to get ready, now go, cat, go. Oh, where it all ends, nobody knows, but it's all for the sake of the song. So if you're nobody's business or your front page news, folk, rock, country, old Delta blues, tell your truth however you choose, and do it all for the sake of the song. All right. Hey, thank you, everybody. Thank y'all so much. That it might be the time usually where we would stop the show and walk off to, and hope you liked us enough to bring us back. But I can't read you. I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in that happening. So and there's also not a real clear exit strategy. So so I'm just gonna stay up here for a few more for encore, if that's all right with y'all. Thank you very much, and I know, yes, Shane or whatever, or Don, y'all got what you need. Yeah, all right. Okay, let's have a drink together. Cheers, everybody! Thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I say this every night, literally every night. I would do this every night, whether anybody showed up or not. But it's a hell of a lot more fun when people show up. I really, really appreciate y'all spending your hard-earned money to come out here and support live music and let us do what we love to do. It means the world to us. I do not take it for granted, and I don't take this venue for granted. This is I go all over the world, and the Mucky Duck is one of the finest listening rooms in the world, and I've been playing here since about 2000. I think I did a Toys for Tots event here in around 2000, and I had some early days where I did song swaps, and Lisa Morales and Trish Murphy and Shake Russell, and people would bring me up, and so many folks were very kind and giving, and allowed me to share the stage with them, and get in front of their audiences, and it just made all the difference. So. I have so much gratitude that I've been able to make a life out of this and make a living out of making up songs and singing them for people. So thank you all for being a part of that and supporting me. I really appreciate it. Arkansas, my head hurts. Yeah, I'd love to stick around and maybe make it worse. But I've got a girl out in Henrietta, and her love is like tornado weather. And it's girls like her that keep me trying. She goes off like an air raid siren. Come in clean, leave torn apart, with a bad liver and a broken heart. With a bad liver and a broken. Indian summer, Oklahoma sunset. If there's a nicer place, I haven't been there yet. I'm standing outside of the blue door. I'm too tired for sleep and too drunk for more. And it's nights like these that keep me trying. A woman always knows when a man is lying. It ain't me, I'm just playing a part with a bad liver and a broken heart. But a bad liver and a broken. I'm gonna get old before I'm any good at this. Who's the president and what year is this? Why doesn't anybody speak about truth anymore? Maybe that's what songs are for. You're the wind and I'm on fire. This line of work, no one retires. Come in clean, leave torn apart, with a bad liver and a broken heart. A bad liver and a broken heart. A bad liver and a broken heart. A bad liver and a broken. I haven't, when I started out playing in front of people, one of the first places I was lucky to find was a little folk club down in Galveston called the Old Quarter Acoustic Cafe. And down there was Towns Van Zandt had recorded a live record at the original Old Quarter, which was here in Houston. And I really discovered Towns and out there. I'd listened to him before and heard him, but it never really resonated with me. But when I was down there, something about it, and the people, the reverence people treated his music with, really flipped a switch for me, and he became one of my all-time favorite writers and inspiration. And so I'm gonna do one of his tunes here. This is probably his most well-known one. Y'all probably know some of it. Sing along if you'd like. I'm probably going to forget something, so I could actually, that's a request. Not a suggestion. I'm just like, living on the road, my friend, was going to keep you free and clean. But now you wear your skin like iron, and breasts as hard as kerosene. I want your mama's only boy, but a favorite one, it seemed. She began to cry when you said goodbye, and sank into your dreams. When Pancho was a bandit, boys, his horse was fast as polished steel. He wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. But Pancho met his match, you know, on the deserts down in Mexico. Nobody heard his dying words, but that's the way it goes. All the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose. The poets tell how Pancho fell and left his living in a cheap motel. The desert's quiet and Cleveland's cold, and so the stories were told. And Pancho needs your prayers, it's true, but save a few for Lefty too. He only did what he had to do, and now he's growing old. And all the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose. This is where I can use your help because I skipped a verse. Went to the end. And when things get out of order, it becomes really hard to put them back together again. And so if anybody can remember the start to the third verse, thank you very much. I feel really bad now about that white hair crack I made earlier. There is a benefit to experience and wisdom. All right, that's a nice bow on the whole thing right there. Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dusty Pancho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth. The day they laid poor Pancho low, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. There ain't nobody knows. And all the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose. A few great federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so long. Out of kindness, I suppose. Everybody, thank y'all so much for coming out tonight. I hope you had a good time. Really appreciate y'all listening to us. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know what's happening right now, but I like it. The Mucky Duck. I didn't know y'all had it in you, Mucky Duck. That was... like bubble machines about to happen, and... All right. Okay. All right, let's stop now. It's wearing me out. It's like... Thank you. It's like when somebody you've known a long time just suddenly changes on you, and it's